it's Bill Mew here from Barcelona, reporting from Mobile World Congress 2024. Again, I have the delight of being joined by my colleague Dez Blanchfield, all the way from Australia. I've been treading the halls, looking at a lot of the innovations on display here at Mobile World Congress, and Dez has been tuning in from afar, seeing what's been on social and in the online environment. There's been a great deal of news coming out of Mobile World Congress. Dez, what is it that you've picked up so far?
Indeed, Bill, and we've been covering your roving reporting. Thank you very much for that. So, in the last couple of days, we probably touched on this, but I thought we would just wrap up with the third day summary on these three key elements. Yesterday, I mentioned that I thought there was a lot more focus on devices. More so than ever today, I feel like there's been a lot of focus on the value-add software element, and particularly the AI, and less so on the actual carrier elements of router, switch, and server. So let me just delve into that. And what I mean by that is that, we've got the likes of an AI-powered companion doll. We've got another variation on a robot pet dog. We have another version of flying cars. We have a version of a mobile phone, a folding mobile phone that actually straps around your wrist rather than folding half in your pocket. We even have a transparent laptop, and we've got smartphones, we've got smart rings and smart watches. I was quite interested in what the smart rings are actually doing now, that they become a real trend, particularly for healthcare. And there seems to be a very big device focus there, and I guess it's great that we've got a lot of focus on value-add devices in this space, but I think devices this year in that sort of consumer space, more of what I would consider a CES focus in consumer value-add devices, has been a big thing this year, and that's exciting. The mid-tier of things that's really been interesting is that focus on value-add in the software space, and not just the OSS and BSS sort of carrier fabric layer, and even less about the cloud infrastructure, but obviously a big push on the sort of the AI element. One thing I will note, though, is that value-add software, the intelligence software, and all of the elements brings, there's been a big focus on AI, but I probably got a sense it was less actual practical demonstrations and real-world examples, but more of a focus on the potential of that. And I would have liked to see many more actual real-world examples. And I know you're going to talk about one that you saw with Waylay in a moment. But what I did note was that this year more than ever, and I guess there's a number of reasons that maybe we've effectively had enough evolutionary development on the physical infrastructure. Now we need to work on the intelligent software layer. But the traditional sort of routers, switches, servers, storage, the carrier physical cellular infrastructure and the data center side of things, that seemed to be a lot less of the focus this year. So yeah, those three elements were the big things that really stood out at me on the final sort of day three element around the devices, the value-add software, obviously AI, and less about the carrier infrastructure. But I know you went and saw Waylay, and you saw one of those in particular with regard to their hyper automation and scaling platform where AI was implemented.
Yeah, it's interesting when you say that the observations from the internet and from social have been with some of these what I would call token consumer eye catchers. A laptop that you can see through, the flying car and all the others. To an extent, yes, they were on display, and there were a number of interesting items here, there and everywhere. But the perception on the ground that this definitely isn't CES. It definitely has far more of a commercial focus. I saw on many of the stands they may have something eye-catching, just sort of to attract people's attention, but the more you looked at stands, it was very much a business-focused event. I mean, MWC is never going to be CES. It is very much its own thing, and the great thing to see was that it's back. We saw last year it start to come back into the physical reality after COVID, and this year the numbers were up, I think, approaching 95,000, which is back up to almost full strength, and it's great to see the event back on on its feet, to the extent that it's at some points during day 2 and parts of day 3, some of the refreshments were running out because I think they got even bigger numbers than they expected. But very much, yes, it's still very much an enterprise focus. Well, the companies like AI, companies that are focusing on AI, most of the applications were very commercially oriented. Waylay, you mentioned, again, hyper-automation, doing a great demo that I went to see, which we'll be showing soon on Elnion. Again, focused on solving enterprise problems. A lot of the big stands, and I mean the Huawei one being the biggest of all, enormous sections simply devoted to the commercial clients, and we saw a lot of business being done. We saw a lot of clients, and I think this is very much a return to form for MWC.
It is, and on that note, I think I'm going to speak for both of us when I say that there's a huge congratulations to John Hoffman, the CEO of GSMA, and his entire team who put this together, and all of their partners and all of the ecosystem, the brands, the vendors, the exhibitors, the keynote speakers. As you said, a return to near full strength, champions of the telecommunications industry. It is exciting to see people getting together. Obviously, I lament that I couldn't make it this year, but you did a great job on the ground. But again, I think John Hoffman and his team there at GSMA have done an amazing job of getting this event back and getting back in scale. I was really impressed by the 4 years from now global startup activity. There's a lot of great stuff there, and I know you've seen a couple of those things with regard to the cloud launch side of things with Huawei. I definitely, it's a big return. It's a great turnout, and it was an interesting little side note that some of the refreshments and beverages essentially were running up because there were too many people. That's a great problem to have. And I think we're just looking for bigger and better, and I'll be looking forward to what's happening with the North American event and certainly the newly launched last year African event. And of course, when it gets to this side of the planet, Asia Pac, I think it'll just continue to grow and grow. And again, next year I'll be looking forward to bigger and better. And as you said, it won't ever be CES. But it's an interesting angle to look at that it is able to broaden its horizon. It's had the startups in various countries with it 4 years for now. It's not a bad thing that it inherits some of the capabilities of other events. That just brings more people to it and grows that ecosystem. But again, John Hoffman and his team has nailed this one, and I think it's just going to get bigger and better. And let's look forward to next year.
And long may it last. We're looking forward to next year and well beyond. Des, great to talk to you. Everyone out there, I hope I was able to meet some of you out there. There was a large number of people I saw. For those that I missed, I look forward to catching you either online in the interim or back here in Barcelona next year. You can catch our updates on social media and at elnion.com, and we look forward to bringing you more highlights, more updates from many events to come.
Thanks very much. And Bill, just for our audience, we will have links to all the relevant resources we spoke about and links to the various social profiles of Bill and myself and the companies we are working with. And we would very much love you to continue to be part of the conversation on digital and social platforms. And Bill, thanks for your amazing work on the ground there as our roving reporter. We look forward to some of the follow-up blogs and continued podcasts.
Well, farewell from Barcelona. Hope to see you all online all year and possibly appearing from other events elsewhere in the near future.